Okay. So ihr glaubt in der Torah, aber ihr glaubt nicht in Rebbeinu Olam. You believe in the Torah, but you don't believe in the Rebbeinu Olam. Warft ihm zu Reb David mit kalten Bittel. Reb David uh, threw at him with cold, said to him with cold disdain, Ich glaube in Rebbeinu Olam und glaube in der Teure. Aber ihr, Polotskadayen, ihr glaubt nicht in der Teure. So I believe in the Ribono Shel Olam and I believe in the Torah. But you, Polotskadayen, you do not believe in the Torah. Nicht mit mich führt ihr a Machloikes. You don't have an argument with me, nor mit alle Rishonim and Achronim, but rather with all the earlier commentators and the later commentators, mit dem Rambam, mit dem Rashba, mit dem Ritba, mit dem Beis Yosef und alle Poskim. So these are all the commentators, earlier ones and later ones. Wir haben euch auf der Sefer mit den Rabbonim ausgewiesen, als ihr stützt sich bloß auf Reb Eliezer Mevardun. So we demonstrated that at the meeting of the rabbis, that you base yourself only on Reb Eliezer Mevardon. Und is a Yochid. Der Din is nicht wie and he is an individual, and the law doesn't follow him. Auf ein Olam ha'emes wird haben zu tun mit alle Poiskim, was hat mevayish gewinnt. And in the next world, you will have to deal with all of the commentators whom you have you have insulted them. They willen euch nicht reinlassen in Gan Eden, and they won't allow you to enter Gan Eden. Ich nehme es auf sich. I take this upon myself. Gleich zu Heus der kleinwuchsige Reb David, the short Reb David stood up straight. Ich will dort nicht auftreten für die Rishonim und Achronim, wie ich bin dort nicht aufgetreten für den Wilner Va'ad HaRabbonim. And I will not yield to the earlier commentators and the later commentators in the same way that I didn't yield to the Rabbinic Council, the Vilna Rabbinic Council. Und ob sie wollen mich nicht hereinlassen in Gan Eden, wie ihr sagt, will ich ruhig gehen in Gehennem. And if they don't permit me to enter the Gan Eden, as you say, I will very calmly go to Gehenna. Mali hacha, mali hasam. What's the difference to me this way or that? Kein größere Jesurim wie ich leid do, will ich dort nicht leiden. Greater suffering than that which I suffer over here, I will not suffer over there. Ihr, Reb Levi, wird öfter dort nicht haben zu tun mit Rishonim und Achronim. You, Reb Levi, will perhaps not have to deal with the earlier and the later commentators. Der Pfarr wird dort haben zu tun mit einer Aguna. And for that reason, over there, you will have to deal with the Aguna. Sie wird stehen beim Teuer von Gan Eden und sich reißen die Haare von Kopf. She will stand at the gate of Gan Eden and she will tear out her hair und schreien zum Himmel, and she will cry out to the heavens, as Reb Levi Horvitz is gegangen in ihr Blut. That Reb Levi Horvitz is gegangen in ihr Blut. It's a phrase, and I'm not 100% sure how to translate it.
What I've seen is torment, but I'm open to correction.
Torment, that he tormented her?
Yeah.
He went after her.
No, he penetrated, literally as he penetrated up to her blood. That means he
tormented
took possession of her soul, her body. Yes, he tormented her.
Tormented her, okay. Hat sie gejockt und geplockt. Und ihr verlangt, sie so bleiben sitzen, ein ganz Leben ohne Mann. He chased her, he tormented her. And you wanted that she should remain for her whole life without a husband. Wie is ongesessen 20 Jahre on a vibe, in the same way that he sat for 20 years without a wife. Hat nicht chasne gehabt, hat gewollt, als sie, die Agune, soll euch nicht chasne haben. He didn't didn't marry again, and he wanted that she, the Aguna, should also not marry again. Und als die Aguna wird euch nicht reinlassen in Gan Eden, wird ihr nicht können reingehen, weil sie und nicht ihr ist die Emesse Tzedekes. And the Aguna, if the Aguna will let you enter Gan Eden, you won't be able to. If she doesn't let you go enter Gan Eden, you won't be able to go in, because she and not you is the real tzedekes, the real pious one. Sheker v'chazab, setzt Reb Levi mit dem Faust in Tisch. It's pure lies and fabrications. Reb Levi hit his fist on the table. On an opgegossene mit fire. He was enraged. He was fuming with fire. An Esches Ish was lebt mit der zweiten Mann on a geht von ersten Mann is nicht kein Tzedekes. A married woman who is living with another man without a divorce from the first husband, she is not a pious woman. Ich bin a größere Bal Yesurim von euch, and I have suffered greater than you. Und ob ihr halt, als ihr darft nicht mehr haben fahren Gehenom, weil hat genug gelitten, darf ich Avade nicht mehr haben. And if you say that you don't need to fear going to Gehenna because you have suffered enough, I certainly will not fear going there. Ich habe gepaskend, wie die Poskim haben geheißen. I gave my ruling just as the commentators, as they instructed. Wird mir AGUNE dem Weg zum Gan Eden nicht können verstellen. So your AGUNE will not be able to block my way to Gan Eden. Und ob sie wird stehen beim Teuer, and if she stands at the gate, wie ihr sagt, as you say, werden sich von dort herauskleiben alle Geonim und Poskim. Und sie wollen besser auskleiben zu sein mit mir in Gehennem. All the Geonim and the commentators will come together, and they will rather side with me and go to Gehenna. Eider sitzen in Gan Eden mit euch und eurer AGUNE, rather than to sit in Gan Eden with you and your AGUNE.
I wonder if Oiskleiben wouldn't be to choose, rather to choose to be with me.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. To Oiskleiben to choose. Okay. Verwemmen nimmst du sich es on for Anafka? Why are you taking the part of a Anafka, a whore? Schreit die Rebbitzin zum Mann in wilden Grimmzorn. The Rebbitzin yelled at her husband in a rage. Nicht für dein Weib nimmst du sich on. You don't support, you don't take on the position of your wife. Nicht für dein gestorben Eifela, and not from your little child who has died. Und nicht für einen einzigen Engel, was ist uns geblieben, nimmst du sich on. And you don't support your only little boy who has remained alive with us, nor für ein ausgelassener Zeug nimmst du sich on, but you take on the position of a debauched bitch, wie es wollt Taka emes gewinn, was andere Sonim sagen wegen euch beide, as if it were really true what our enemies say about the two of you. Arois von dannen, get out of here. Geht sie sich a drei ois zu Reb Levi, and she turned towards Reb Levi. Mein Kind friert noch in meisem Stibbel. My child is still frozen in the mortuary. wir sind so abgerissen und abgeschlossen und wir können nicht gehen in Frost auf der Levaya. We are so torn and isolated, and we cannot go in this freezing weather to the funeral. Hat noch ein Herz, uns zu stressen und uns wird sein noch ärger? And do you still have the heart to torment us and to make things worse for us? Aros von dannen. Get out of here. Okay. Someone else can take over.
Well, I can. I finally arrived. Reb Levi tritt up, verstummter. Reb Levi stepped back in silence. Wie wollt in der Polotzker deiente der seiner Gilgal von seiner beschügener Tochter. As if he saw in the wife of the Polotzker Dayan a reincarnation of his crazy daughter. Wenn der Städtschein bei der Schwell rauszugehen, standing already at the threshold to go out, wird zurückgestoßen von der Tür, was öffnet sich auf eine wenig. He was pushed back by the door, which was opening inward. When in Stub kommt rein Reb Shmuel, der Kremer von Zaretscher Mark. And into the room comes Reb Shmuel, the storekeeper of the Zaretscher market. Reb Shmuel is a Yid mit a cultivator gräulicher Bord. Reb Shmuel is a fellow with a disheveled kind of gray beard, ungetan in a heichen winterdicken Hittel, dressed in a tall winter-type hat, in a halben Pelzel, and in a half fur. Führt bei der Hand den Ben Harav, Yosefin. He is leading by the hand the child of the rabbi, Yosef, Joey. Und hinter sie spart sich herein Reb Shmuel's vibe. And behind them pushes herself in Reb Shmuel's wife, a niederige, breite Jidene, a short, broad woman mit a kosherkol in der Hand, carrying a basket in her hand. Wir haben sich nur was der Wurst von our Jingel, als our krank Kind ist gestorben. We just found out from your child that your ill child has died, sagt der Kremer als Tumulter, says the storekeeper in a bit of confusion, when sehr aufgeregter and very upset. Sorry, Rebbe, such difficulties, such troubles, Rebbe. Wir haben euch gebracht etwas über zu haben das Herz. So we brought you something to revive yourself a little. Stupt him up, sein Weib. His wife interrupts him. Stellt weg auf den Tisch, and she places on the table das Kosherkol, the basket, und verbrecht die Hand and wrings her hands. Rebbetzin, fragt gar nicht, was in Gas tut sich. Rebbetzin, just don't ask what's happening out there on the street. Als eins ist noch nicht gehört geworden, since Vilna is Vilna. We've never heard such a thing since Vilna was a city. Gott soll uns allemen aushitten. God protect us all. Nächten hat man den Markhändler Moishke Zerolnik gefunden bei der Agune in Stub mit der zerpoltenem Scherben. Yesterday, they found the market seller, Moishke Zerolnik, at the house, at the flat of the Aguna, with a broken skull. Und Heint hat man sie gefunden, and today they have found her in Stieblichwald, in the forest. It's called the Stieblichwald. There are a few little houses out in the forest at the outskirts of Vilna. And Uvgehungene, having hanged herself. In Cheder bleibt hängen a teute Stillkeit. In the room, there remains hanging a deathly silence. Mit einmal nimmt die Rebbetzin herunter Krichen von Bett. Suddenly, the rabbi's wife begins to crawl out of bed und streckt aus zum Mann ihre beide Hände and reaches both hands out towards her husband. Wie der Deal unter ihr wollt genommen einsinken, as if the floor under her feet had begun to sink when sie wart, soll sie raten, and she's waiting for him to protect her, to save her. David, ich bin nicht schuldig. David, it was not my fault. Ich hab sie zu dem dit getrieben, David. It wasn't I who brought her to such a thing, who pushed her to such a thing, David. Tut sie a Geschrei und verstopft sich das Mäul mit beide Händen. She cries out and stuffs both of her hands into her mouth. Wie ein Schreck, als ihr Geschrei soll nicht erhargenen ihr vergliederten Mann, as if afraid that her outcry might kill her husband, who is standing stock still. Rab David zet a feeling dit. He's on vibe to the fall off in bet on Chias. Rab David doesn't even notice how his wife falls onto her bed without any strength. He doesn't hear how his son Yosef starts groaning, Mama, Mama, calling out for his mother. And wie die Schreine geht sich a Wurf up minteren die Rebbetzin, and how the neighbor woman is jumping to revive the Rebbe's wife. Mit an ungezielten, messerdicken Blick, with a glance which is aimed like a knife of Reb Levi Horvitzen against Reb Levi Horvitz, steht Reb David mit a versteinerten Äußern. Reb David is standing with a stony appearance, bewegt mit die Lippen, and his lips are moving. Nur sein Kol hört man nicht, but you can't hear his voice. Wie der Strick, was hat der Worgen die Agune, wollt genommen euch sein Hals, as if the rope which had der Worgen, which had, it's the second, suffocated, choked, which had choked the Aguna, was now, as if it was now surrounding also his throat. Streckt euch seine rechte Hand mit dem Weißfinger auf Reb Levi. He points with his right hand, with the forefinger, index finger of his right hand to Reb Levi. Und chrippet besof arois mit der krampfiger Anstrengung. And he croaks finally out with a cramped effort, strain. Retzeach, murderer. Der geplefter Kremer hooked. The storekeeper, amazed, looks. Wie der Rav in a Streimel und Futter ruckt sich heraus von Cheder. Sees how the rabbi, this is Levi Horvitz, in his Streimel and his fur, backs out of the room from Cheder and hält sich on in der Tierklamke, and he's holding on to the doorknob, nicht umzufallen, so that he not fall down. Von Korridor geht in Cheder a Spar rein, a frostige Chvalje. From the corridor, there comes in to the room a frosty wave. Der Retzeach seid ihr, nicht ich. The murderer, that's you, not me, schreit Reb Levi aus, von die andere Seite schwell. Reb Levi screams out from the other side of the threshold. and hakt zu die Tür, and he slams the door. Der wird Meure gehabt, as Reb David's ausgezeugene Hand, as if he were afraid that Reb David's stretched out hand, mit dem Weißfinger, with his index finger, soll sich nicht ausziehen bis zu die Treppe. He was afraid that it might reach all the way to the stairs. Bis zu der Gas, it might reach all the way to the street. Und ihm nicht stechen, der Spiz. And it might stick him, it might impale him like a spear in the Rücken durch der ganze Stadt into his back throughout the entire city. Gut. Amitzensrei.
Ich kann weiterlesen. Soll ich weiterlesen?
Good.
Okay. Die Stadt kocht. The town seethes. In Zarecher Beit Midrash hat sich es umgeheim. It started in the Zarecher synagogue. Der Gabi Tzalia hat zugleich mit aller Arumika Schchenim gehört, die Nayas wegen der Zirulnik. The Gabi Tzalia, together with all the surrounding neighbors, heard the news about Zirulnik. Now, would you spell Nayas like that, or would there be an I in there?
I've seen both.
Oh, okay. Wegen der AGUNE und aus dem Rabbins Ingele ist gestorben, about the news about the AGUNE and that the rabbi's little boy had died. Is was he so what? Zij zijn en alle drei werd eine die andere. All three of them are worthy of each other. Hat gesagt, when he's rein in Beis Midrash zu Mincha, he said, and went into the prayer house to say the evening prayer, mit een Bunschließen in der Hand, with a bundle of keys in his hand. Aber das Mal hat nicht bedarf warten, bis die Jeden wollen sich zu neu bleiben. But this time he didn't have to wait until the Jews came together, einzigweise zu Minyan, singly to form a Minyan. Chopte Jeden haben reingestürmt. A group of Jews stormed in zusammen together. When Asach Hand haben sich gegeben zum Gabi Streck Arois, and a lot of hands stretched out to the Gabai. Risketon von seiner Hand dem Bunschließen. They tore the bundle of keys from his hand when him der Landhaus stois and gave him such a shove as is geflogen bis zu der Tür that he flew as far as the door when is dort umgefallen, and there he fell over, wie an heruntergekeikelter Stein von a Berg, like a stone rolling down from a hill, was keikelt sich noch lang in der Nieder, eider bleibt liegen, that rolls for quite a while downhill before it stops, lies there. Später haben die inzwischen sich gerecht. Afterwards the Jews spoke among themselves, als hat der über 80-jährige Tzalia mit dem blauen Milzponem, that this over 80-year-old Tzalia with the Milz's spleen, with his the color, spleen-like color of his face, when die lange krumme gedrottete face and the long, crooked, wire-like legs, Hotaka in sich 10 levens, really has 10 lives. Ob hat sich noch gekannt zurück aufheben, aufheben, that if he could still stand up again on his own. Nor is geblieben stumm von Teutschreck, but he remained silent from deathly fright. Der Minion hat ihm wieder herumgeringelt. The minion, the group of people making up the minion, again surrounded him und von Sina sich gestickt mit die Wörter, and from hate they I'm not sure what gestickt is. They stuck him with the words. I'm not sure what sticken. A stick is a piece.
Yeah, sticken, I think, is to suffocate here.
Suffocate with the words. Weiber pagrober, wife barrier, 80-jähriger Pager, 80-year-old carcass. Über dir hat sich die Aguna aufgehangen. Because of you, the Aguna hung herself. Und dem Rebbe's kind is gestorben. And because of you, the rabbi's child died. Geh und nimm einer Mita Mashuna. Go and have a bad death, drop dead. Dein fünfte Weib soll dich begroben, gliederweise. Your fifth wife should bury you limb by limb. Und wieder haben sich eine Sachhand mit ausgeklimmten Nägeln gegeben, grob ein in sein darnharten Guff. And again, a lot of hands with bent nails grabbed his thin, tough body. In my geton in der Heeg, lifted him up, wie man hebt auf ein Knäuel durchgeflogen, durchgefeulten Streu. As you lift up high, as you lift up a bundle of rotten straw off a dry, zehnerlichen Goppel on a three-pronged fork. When him gegeben a slider heraus von Beis Midrash, and they gave him a slide out of the prayer house. Een Sache haben wir ausgeführt. We've managed to do one thing, what Aid abgewischt. Ein Hand in der zweite. A Jew wiped his one hand on the second hand, wenn man wird die Agune werden auf dem Beisäulen. This must continue. And when we will take the Aguna to the cemetery, but Salya nicht herausgehen auf, okay, but Salya nicht herausgehen auf sein Ganikel, fragen, wie alt sie ist der Maid. Salya will not go out onto his garden or balcony asking how old the corpse is. Die aufgesottenen Jiden haben stark angetan. The seething Jews regretted, was der Gabel hat sich nicht geprüft stellen dagegen. Sorry? Stellen dagegen. Regretted that the Gabel did not attempt Stellnachgegen resist, und man hat nicht bewiesen, ihm zu mieten noch mehr, and one hadn't managed to, well, not kill him, but probably injure him some more.
Beat him up.
Oh, beat him up, okay. It's Maimit, because Maimit is, I mean, that comes from the prayer, Maimit Machaya.
Yeah, Mamison is just to beat up, Mamison.
Okay. Thanks. Well, but could it mean maybe to Machaya, someone who causes to die and causes to live?
Well, it certainly comes from the Lashon Kodesh, memis, causing to die. But in Yiddish, memesen and hargenen mean to beat
Oh.
up.
To beat up, okay. Men hat gesucht nach Korban auszuladen auf ihm dem ungesammelten Kas. They were looking for a sacrificial lamb to let out on him the accumulated anger. Und ein Balakbos hat beschuldigt dem Zweiten, and one householder blamed the second. Ich bin gewesen der Einzige, was hat sich dem Manöver gegengestellt. I am the only one who resisted this ugly person. Beiser hat unser Rebben nicht verrechnet zu Minion when he wouldn't count our rabbi to the Minion. It alle hat eingenommen, stimmen nicht. The rest of you were quiet. Wollt euch, als ihr seid, nicht gewähnt der Einzige. Mullen is to paint. Don't assume that you have been the only one. Von deswegen hat ihm geglaubt. Nevertheless, you believed him, dem Paar this curse, this park on the head, this piece of dirt.
Yeah, canker, literally, but yes.
As unser Rebbe, that our rabbi, der Tzaddik, the righteous man, hat gehabt zu tun mit der AGUNE, actually was involved with the AGUNE. Ich bin gewesen der Einzige, was der Einzige, was ich hab nicht geglaubt. I was the only one who didn't believe. Was hab nicht geglaubt. Ich hab nicht geglaubt, was hat nicht geglaubt. How would you do the grammar there? It's past.
Der Einzige was hat.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it's a spelling thing?
No, I think hat is correct there.
No, it's hob. It's written as hob.
Hat ihm geglaubt. Where are you there?
Ja, das ist slip ich. Man kann beide schreiben. Ich bin
Ich kann beide schreiben. Ja, ich bin Maskim.
Ich bin gewend der Einzige, was hab. Ich hab nicht geglaubt in dem.
Hat nicht geglaubt, und ja, er hat nicht geglaubt, ja. Okay. I think I'm done. Somebody else's turn.
I guess I could finish the page, the Zeitung.
Sure.
Dank. Zu Geld kommt es nicht. It doesn't amount to money, I guess. Comes wenn der Rebbe hat genommen umgehen auf Gemilas Chesed, when the rabbi started to go around to collect charity for Gemilas Chesed, hat sich abgeruht. You, I guess, we're taken aback, moved back.
I stepped back, yeah. And this is referring to when the Rabbi David was out of cash, and he went around asking for a loan.
Und wenn der Rebbe hat schon Rost und Poshet gegeben Tzedakah, and when the rabbi, this plain and simple, was at gebeten, asking for charity, seid ihr taub geworden auf beide Ohren. You were just deaf in both ears. Die Jiden haben sich gekriegt und zerhietzt. The Jews just fought and got hot-headed among themselves. Bis
Did you
einer
say the Jews here?
was?
Just the men. It's not the Jews necessarily.
Yeah, the Jews, the Jews, yeah. The men. Bis einer von Gesemmel hat bemerkt dem neuen Unterschied von Zaratcher Klois. Until one of them from this group remarked, observe the new assistant Shamish on the Zaratcher Klois, from the Zaratcher Klois, a small, worship group, a small shul, yeah.
And this
There
is
you
referring to Kalman now.
Yeah. He is responsible. Ist schuldig. Kalman hat die ganze Zeit gelebt, versunkener in sein Sar. Kalman lived the entire time, just sunken in his sorrow. Behalten in Spinnwebs von Sephoramheder. Hidden in these spider webs of the book room, I guess. Erst jetzt, wenn die Jiden seinen befallendem Gabe, hat sich von sehr Geschreien der Wust, wo sie ist vorgekommen, und ist stehen geblieben mit rausgekrochenen Augen, mit einem offenen Mäuel, stumm, bleich, aber schlagener, mit Schweißen. But just now, when the guys, I guess, ganged up on the Gabi, he,
It's better to translate Eden without referring to Jews. Everyone in the story is Jewish. So
Jewish,
when the
yeah.
fellows or the
Yeah,
men,
the fellows, the guys, yeah, the fellows, yeah, the fellows, they ganged up on the Gabi, he knew from their screaming, Geschreien, he recognized from their screaming that what took place is and remains Roiska, how would you translate a Roiska Kroken Eugen?
staring eyes creeping out, literally.
Yeah, eyes, not Eugen.
So he just found out what had happened.
Eyes, yeah,
So he stood, he remained standing with staring eyes.
Yeah, I was thinking Eugen. No, it's Eugen. Mit an open Mäuel, with an open mouth, just quiet, bleich, pale, just beaten down with just covered with sweat. Der ganze Minion hat sich auf ihm aufgeworfen. The entire minion was hat sie on him, was ganging up, I guess, getting on him, was attacking him, I guess, Ruf geworfen. Ihr seid noch ärger von Zalien, tausendmal ärger. You are worse than Zalia, 1,000 times worse. Unser Rebbe hat für euch eingestellt das Leben. Ihr sollt mögen Hasenach. Our rabbi got your life in order so you can get married. Hat geworfen euer Weib und seid geworden unterschamisch bei dem Homen Harosha, was hat unser Rebbe rausgetrieben von des Medrash. So hat you so you through your wife, and you were the assistant shamish by that awful person, the Homan Harosha, that had that threw out our that ejected, I guess, got rid of our rabbi from our Bes Medrash. Ihr seid wert, man soll euch der trinken in Speyert. You merit, you are worth it, that people should, I guess, drown you in spit. Balabos, oisgespiegen, Speyert, but balabos,
A householder.
a householder, yeah, I guess a householder would spit out. Und euch die andere haben geraket schreien die, als nur a geschlagene Hund kann so lecken die Hand von Schläger. And also the others having where I forget what sound a rocket is, but yeah,
Clearing their throats.
they're clearing rocket. Yeah, rocket. They were yes, clearing their throats, screaming that only a low down, a no good dog can lick the hands from Jeder, wie der Unterschamisch ist durchgekrochen dem Gabe, was ihm gebricket mit die Fies. They can lick the hands from a Schläger, an abuser is the hitter, as the assistant shamus is crawled after the Gabe was had him jump with the feet. Oh, there has to be a better way to put all that together. Gebricket jumped with the feet.
Now, bricken is to kick.
Kick, oh, yes, yeah, kicked with the feet. The Hand von Schläger, the hands of
someone who's beating him.
Beating him, the hands of the person who's beating him. Well, yeah, the person making the slogan, right? The Bima.
Bima, der Arne Kodesh, die Hänglachte, als hat sich geschockelt. The Bima, the Arne Kodesh, I don't know if you translate all the
The Holy Ark.
The Holy
Ark.
The Holy Ark? No.
Yeah.
The Holy Ark, the Hangler, the Parochet, the
Chandelier.
curtains. These are the chandeliers. Else, everything was shaking in the synagogue. I don't see the. Yeah. In front of Kalman's eyes. Is rausgelaufen auf den Hof und ist stehen geblieben, vertäubter. He ran out to the court and stopped suddenly. A vertäubter. Was is a vertäubter? As someone
who's become deaf.
Yes, but certainly as he was given sicher, as der Schockelter bei Smedresh wird bald einfallen. As if he was sure as the shaking bei Smedresh wird completely fall apart. und sich nicht gekannt rühren von Ort, and that he will not manage to escape it, to move from there.
I think it means that he ran out, but then he couldn't move from that place.
Yes. But is there besser einfallen? Yes, okay. You couldn't move from the place, yes. Auf der Mallorca Berge sind gestanden und gerät die Maljores in einem mit die Händler von Holzmarkt. The Berge is the place, the central place.
Yeah, this is the work exchange for the house painters. That's the Mallorca Birja. It's a place where they go to get work. People who have houses that need painting come and find painters there. And we've seen that place before. It's just called the Mallorca Birja.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the work exchange.
At the Mallorca Work Exchange, all the Maljares,
The house painters.
the house paint. Modern. Was standing there speaking with the handlers, the merchants of Woodmark.
Holzmark. Holz. The lumberyard.
Lumberyard. That's where my English is not good enough. Was gefunden sich ontkeken Savannahgas that stands opposite Savannah Street. Moischke Zeronicke, gute Breder, Moische Zeronix, gute Breder, was haben ihm geschworen, Treischaft, Biskelkave. The Gute Breder is not his brothers.
No, it's his friends.
His friends, yeah.
His pals.
Yeah. Moishke Zeronik's friends that swore to him fidelity till death, haben in Herzen im Feind gehabt bei sein Herrschenden Übersee. Hated him because he was superior, socially superior to them, war sein ständigen Barrieren sich, because he boasted, always boasted, und kreisen sich gegen eigene Geweren, and always felt superior to his friends. Aber bis es gewinn in sein Geduld, hat man sich vor ihm gebeugen und ihm gehandelt. Aber, but in front of him, in front of his greatness,
No, Beser is given in San Gedula when he was still in his high station.
Because he's not in.
No, he's been he has fallen in several ways at this point. So, but at the point when he was lording it over them in San Gedula.
I should have a resume of the story. When then they would bend in front of him and le flatter him. Jetzt ist mit einmal klein geworden. Aha. but now he has become someone unimportant. On elements for everyone. Etliche hat sich von ihm abgeworfen. Everyone stayed away from him. Ungeleitend as Moritz hat ihm gefunden wird, Ronfet. And geleitend, I'm not sure. I knew, but I forgot.
Leukenen is to deny.
Yes, thanks. And denied that Morris had given him liquor.
Yeah. Moritz used to show his generosity by buying rounds of strong liquor for his friends. And now they deny that Moritz had ever done that. Gefunden is a strange verb for this. Gefunden to found, but that's the verb he uses.
Men hat sich über erzählt mit Hanoi, wie die Schreinen seien sich zu neu gelaufen auf seine wilde Geschreien. They would say with great joy how the neighbors screamed at him.
No,
screamed.
When he was the situation is he was visiting the AGUNE and she hit him over the head with a bottle. All right. And so at that point he started screaming. And so at this point they're recounting with pleasure how those neighbors came running up when he started his wild screaming.
Was ist Eleheim?
As if.
Es wird geschrien, gekolter Chaser, as if, just like a pork that has just been killed.
Yeah, just like a slaughtered pig.
A slaughtered pig. Wir sollen mit Hand gefunden liegen in a Kalusche Blut. Was is a Kalusche?
A puddle.
How they found him in a puddle of blood. Und wie man hat ihm abgeführt in jüdischen Spital, and how he was taken to the Jewish hospital, verneien dem zerhackten Schaden. To renew?
No, verneien, to sew up.
To sew up the his wounds.
his broken skull, yeah.
Carrément, broken skull. Okay, go on. I love the way he writes. It's sometimes so full of humor. I mean, it's dramatic, but it's wow. No? Wer wird weiter lernen?
I guess it's a Yankov's turn again.
Okay. Hat Mazel, hat Hechel von allem gelacht, der Stub Maler Isaacel Barash. He was lucky. The house painter Isaacel Barash laughed above everybody else. Wenn man nimmt him nicht weg in Hegdish, when man nimmt him nicht weg in Hegdish, he was lucky that they didn't take him away to the Hegdish, to the place where all the poor people were living. Wollt man ihm zerrissen auf Sticker, they would have ripped him to pieces. Wie man hat zerrissen auf Sticker die Pachela von der Agune. In the same way that the shawl of the Aguna was ripped into pieces, weil der Stick von gehangenem is mazeldik, because a piece of the rope of the one who has been hanged is it's a lucky charm. In Spital hitten im Doktorim in weiße Chalaten. In the hospital, doctors in white coats tended to him. Und kein gut Eug soll ihm nicht schatten. And
Good is a euphemism for Schlechteig there. Yeah. Evil eye.
Right. They should not harm him. Keiner weiß nicht, wie ich, was hat abgetan. No one knows better than me the tricks that he has played. Was noch hat abgetan, and what other tricks did he play? Ringelen im Arum die Markhändler, the market tradespeople were standing around him. Jungen in größer Wallikes, untergenäht mit Fell, und in Hitler mit harte lederne Daschkes. So these young people were standing in large felt shoes, which were sewn. The soles were sewn with hide, and they wore hats with hard leather visors.
Well, this might be a place to stop then.
Okay.